Hi guys, welcome to the dashboard and the build of the Rukus template. And um, if you first of all enter the dashboard, don't get scared. It looks as if there's nothing happening. What I just need to do is come to login right here, and then just copy this so you can like access data, and then paste. We can also just copy this and paste. Yeah. And then, of course, now the dashboard should work. Never. Good. So this is the dashboard right here. And first, I want to say that this is actually like a multi-page application. This is an MPA, not an SPA. And if for you to really fully understand everything that's happening here, you need to really understand context. So what I mean by context is there is a parent container or a parent component that's passing data down to all the pages. The reason for that is to essentially reduce duplicate API calls. Having everything duplicate really slows down it slows down the web app. And Nordcraft has built the application, the engine, in a way whereby it's fast. So I built this with the intent to like ensure like there is no persistent data. It was initially built as an SPA, but then after Andrea's recommendation and all, I had to like make it an MPA, which I actually really love. So right now we have the app wrapper, and each page actually has this app wrapper. If I come to payment here, there's an app wrapper. You can see there's an API call here, and let me open page. Okay, for the team members, there's an app wrapper. There is no API call right here. So for all the important pages, for the payment page too, there's an app wrapper. There is no. So if I come to app wrapper, you notice that app wrapper. You notice that the app wrapper is loaded. Like it's a lot that is going on right here, a lot. And this is actually very good in a way because it helps me like keep track of everything. Almost everything that's happening here is really just like a model. You understand? We have the add new category model. We have the where's the add projects model. So we have the add new projects model. This of course has to like have its own API calls to upload files, add new projects. So I couldn't like add everything, but most of the wrappers here, most of the API calls here are just like get requests. The patch request is basically to update a particular task. That's what this patch is for. But everything else is like is a get request. And then we thereafter like share them with a formula. So I create a formula first. I link it to the data, and thereafter it does its job. So after I create the formula, I expose it in context, and thereafter like all other components can use it. Now one thing I need to actually really note is, for example, if I come here to theme, it's like theme layout right here, or if I come to dashboard layout right here, you can see there's nothing is here. And that's because even though I'm getting context, I'm getting like information directly from my parents wrapper and everything, I'm still not getting. And these are something in Nordcraft, whereby for their children component, they don't really like get dynamic data. So what you can do instead is, for example, my project now, I can come to my project. Okay, I need to log in again. I don't know why, but I need to log in again. Okay, probably I need to reload. Let me reload the page. Okay, perfect. So I'm getting this. And one thing that you can do is you can copy this right here, and then you create like a variable called sample data. So sample like the variable is persistent, so it's not dynamic like an API that changes. So I can just copy this here. I paste this. I'm gonna show you what exactly I'm doing. I paste this. It's gonna tell me to, don't worry, we don't need to. Now, if I come here to my formula, my project list, what this is simply saying is that you have to get data. This is the main place you have to get data from, this API. But if this API is showing null or is empty, defaults to this persistent data. And that's basically what I did for everything. So there are sample data. I had to remove them because if you don't remove them, when a user initially logs in, or when the user will firstly see the persistent, like the persistent data, your variable data. That's before the API calls them wrong. But if I come here to the dashboard layout right here, you will see that I'm already having my project. You understand? But having my dashboard here, it calls like everything. You see what I said initially? It first shows your variable before it then loads out everything. So my main view, my pages, they take the dynamic data themselves. So that's something I want you to note. If you see things are not working the way you want, this is actually very loaded. This I personally feel this is actually loaded, so you can like just take your time to like break down like everything, how everything works. One thing is also the workflows. There are also like workflows for adding data, adding projects. For okay, something I'll show you is for project click, which is like to view the project really is you if for example for my dashboard layouts for example, if a user clicks, the user will have to like first of all take the item of the particular project that is clicking. You also have to take the item name, and also you have to set the project parameter. And this is actually for the whole URL stuff. And once it does that, this is actually set. So it sets a selected project right here. It sets selected project variable right here, and it sets the project view variable to true, which shows it. And that's why if I come to my dashboard right here and I click this, you can see it shows it. So if you really want to understand context, I'm going to include some videos. I think there's a no code channel that really added like very deep understanding of context, and also no code pro code actually really like explain context. One other thing I want to like quickly show you is the way some of these buttons work. So if you're adding a new project, so we have this project right here, and if I scroll down here, there is meant to be a button, an add new button right here. This add new button only shows for administrators and managers. And I think there's a video that Nordcraft did earlier, I think earlier last year or something, about accessibility. And that is basically like showing you can easily hide particular things for particular users based on their roles. So right here there's an access level, and this access level we have administrator, we have manager, we have user, we have demo. So I want this button to only show if a user is an administrator or the user is a manager, and that's why this is showing. So this is clearly false. So since it's false, it won't show. And I'm signing as a demo user, it clearly won't show for me. So this also like applies to almost like every major action that is being carried out. In my project view, there is meant to be like a edit right here, but this edit won't show because it totally allows for an administrator and manager. One last thing I want to show you is the color for it's like the color mode. The color mode, one thing I will actually advise is when building a dashboard or like a website really, you need to like take note of it like far earlier. What is happening here is I'm basically sharing down colors coming. Okay, I'm trying to take like look for input. Okay, so I'm basically inheriting like colors. So in one place you have set like a particular set color that I want. So when it gets dark mode, it's then automatically like adjust. The same thing with background. So you can see the background for now for this is gray, but when it's dark mode, it changes. So I did this for basically everything, but it gets better. It'll have been faster for me if at the beginning I already have like set variables for each of these things and set up. But that's basically how it worked. For the toggle and everything in my side menu, I had this. I have this. This is actually like a simple movement here, and on click. Oh, it's also connected. It's actually connected to my app wrapper, and yeah. But on click, it's meant to change. It changes the variable to dark mode, and if I click it again, changes it to light mode. And if I come to my app wrapper, yeah. So in my color mode, we already have like an initial color mode here, and once the user login or once the user signs in, it might get a color mode from the local storage. But if it's the first time the user is logging and the user doesn't have a color mode, it sets the user color mode to light. But then once a user changes the color mode, changes the color mode, it firstly sets the color mode. Thereafter, it then saves a new color mode. So if the user initially like sets light as a color mode, then it's to set the local storage to dark, and vice versa. There's also like an onload. All this is just to ensure like, oh, the color mode is actually like set, because I was facing some little issues. So if it is empty, it's also to ensure if the color mode is empty, it is the user first time, it's also set the color mode to light. If not, it gets the color mode that the user initially set. So that's why let me try to see if I can reload this. All right, good. So you can see it's dark. It's automatically dark. That's because I already initially set the color mode. So if I come to here, my application, local storage, you can see I have this dark. If I set it to light, it changes to light, and if I reload, it changes to light. Beautiful. Yep. And that's essentially it. The API calls are like normal API calls. Of course, they are secured with authorization barrier token, so you can't really view anything except your login. For the invite member, uses resend. I actually use resend for this. I'm going to create a video on how to set this up. So this resend actually a worker. I connected it with a Cloudflare worker to ensure like my API key is actually proxied and it's hidden. So in my header, you can see I don't have any header, only application JSON is the header here. But in my Cloudflare worker, it's like a more detailed code, and there is a environment variable to ensure everything is hidden and everything. So that's essentially how I built it. The whole core is there's an app wrapper. The app wrapper essentially makes my work very easy. It makes my work easy. I have it's controlling basically everything, and I only need to just put important things right here, like the side menu and everything. I could actually make this smaller by taking the side menu here, but I love it the way it is like that. So yeah. So hey, please, if you have any question, you can essentially message me on Discord, and I'll be sure to clear it for you. Yeah. Thank you so much.